You open your closet, there are plenty of shoes, yet somehow nothing to wear. This pair looks great but pinches. That one is comfortable but looks odd. If this inner dialogue sounds familiar, you're definitely in the right place. When you open your closet and realize you own a lot of pairs but still don't have the right one, it's usually not about fashion or not buying enough. More often, it's about how you approach everyday shoes. We tend to treat comfort as a nice bonus instead of a basic requirement. In reality, it's the other way around. A good day starts with comfort. Shoes stay with us longer than most people do. We wear them to work, run errands, stand in lines, and head home tired, often without noticing how much strain our feet are under. When a pair isn't right, the body starts to push back, first with mild fatigue, then with an aching back. And by evening, it can feel like you've run a marathon, even if all you did was a grocery run and a bus stop. Comfortable shoes aren't about softness for the sake of softness. They're about support, proper weight distribution, and the feeling that your feet aren't fighting the shoes, but working with them as a team. When everything clicks, your stride feels lighter, your movement's more confident, and the day suddenly feels calmer and shorter. And yes, you notice it even when you're not thinking about it on purpose. There's another important point that doesn't get talked about enough. Comfortable shoes have a direct impact on your mood. When nothing pinches, rubs, or constantly reminds you it's there, you're less irritated, you move faster, and you feel more put together. Now be honest, how many times has a bad pair ruined a walk, a meeting, or your plans? Exactly. At the same time, comfort does not equal a boring look. The days when comfortable shoes look like they were issued out of necessity are long gone. Today, you can find styles that look clean and polished without asking for sacrifices. You just need to know where to look and what to pay attention to. And this is where it gets interesting. Comfortable everyday shoes aren't one universal pair for every occasion. There are different options for different needs, weather, pace, and even mood. Some are perfect for active days, others work best in the office, and some shine during walks and trips. When it comes to everyday shoes, there's one main wish: that they go with almost everything and don't require heroic effort. The good news is that these options exist, and not just one or two. Let's break down the categories that actually work in real life, not just in a store window. Let's start with the obvious favorite everyday sneakers. They stopped being purely athletic a long time ago and have become a true all-rounder. People wear them to work, to run errands, for walks, and even to meetings. The reason is simple. Modern city sneakers are designed for long days on your feet, cushioned soles, foot support, lightweight construction. The key is choosing lifestyle models rather than running shoes. They look cleaner and fit into a regular wardrobe more easily. If your day is going to be active, sneakers almost always win. There are moments when you want to look a bit more polished but don't want to give up comfort. That's where loafers come in. They're the perfect middle ground between comfortable and put together. Easy to slip on, visually light, and great for work, meetings, and relaxed walks. Good loafers feel soft on the foot, don't squeeze, and don't require a painful break-in period. That's why they're a go-to for people who are on the move all day but don't want a sporty look. The next category is ballet flats and everyday flats. They're often underestimated and unfairly so. Yes, quality matters a lot here, but a good pair can become a real lifesaver. These are shoes for days when you want lightness and simplicity. Stepping out quickly, running errands, keeping your look effortless. Well-made flats shouldn't be too thin or stiff. Comfort should be noticeable from the very first steps. With the right choice, your feet will genuinely thank you. In warmer weather, comfortable sandals take center stage. And no, this isn't just about vacations. Modern city styles are great for everyday life. They breathe, don't overheat your feet, and give a sense of freedom. The key is proper support. Sandals should hold your foot securely and not slip around as you walk. On hot days, they can be a real lifesaver. And finally, slip-ons, the true put them on and go option. They're perfect for a fast-paced lifestyle when there's no time for laces or complicated designs. Slip-ons are lightweight, comfortable, and handle everyday routes with ease. They're loved for their versatility. Simpler looking than sneakers, yet often more comfortable than many classic styles. Looking at all of this together, one thing becomes clear. There's no single perfect pair for every situation, but you can build a reliable team of shoes for different needs. And that leads to the next important question: how do you know a specific pair will actually be comfortable, not just good looking? Even the best category can disappoint if you choose carelessly. Details are what decide whether shoes become your favorites or end up collecting dust after a couple of wears. The first thing to focus on is how the shoes feel inside. Not the look, not the brand, not even the price, but how your feet feel in the first few minutes. If something pinches, rubs, or you catch yourself thinking they'll break in, that's a red flag. Everyday shoes shouldn't require an adjustment period. They're either comfortable right away or they're not. Next comes the insole and foot support. A good pair feels like it gently supports your foot from underneath instead of leaving it on a flat slab. This is especially important if you walk a lot or spend most of the day on your feet. A responsive insole helps distribute pressure and reduce fatigue. If you feel like your foot is sinking after a few steps, your legs will tire quickly. Material matters just as much. Everyday shoes need to breathe, otherwise comfort disappears along with your good mood by the end of the day. Natural leather, textiles, and modern breathable materials work far better than stiff, dense substitutes. The better the material adapts to the shape of your foot, the fewer unpleasant surprises you'll get later on. Pay attention to how your foot is held in place. Even the softest shoes can be uncomfortable if your foot slides around inside. Straps, laces, elastic panels, or simply a well-designed fit without extra gaps all affect stability. When your foot is properly secured, your step feels more confident and the load is distributed evenly. One more thing that often gets overlooked is the sole. It should be flexible, but not too thin. If it doesn't bend at all, walking will feel heavy. If it's too soft and flat, your feet will tire quickly. The ideal sole follows the natural movement of your foot while still protecting you from uneven ground. In the end, it all comes down to a simple idea. Comfort is built from small details, not from bold promises on the box, but from how the shoes behave when you move. Once you know what to look for, the risk of disappointment drops significantly. Yet, even with all this knowledge, many people keep making the same mistakes, often completely willingly. That's why it's important to go over the most common ones that ruin the experience, even with decent shoes. The first and most common mistake is buying shoes for later. They pinch a little but look great, and you immediately hope they'll break in, that you'll get used to them. Spoiler, they almost never do. Everyday shoes shouldn't be a test of time and pain. If they're uncomfortable in the store, they'll feel even worse in real life. The second mistake is focusing only on appearance. Yes, shoes should look good, but when style completely pushes comfort aside, the outcome is predictable. A beautiful but uncomfortable pair brings excitement at first and irritation later. In the end, you keep reaching for your old trusted shoes while the new purchase sits unused. Another misstep is skipping a proper test while walking. Many people just put shoes on, stand still for a few seconds, and decide everything's fine. Then they discover that walking in them feels completely different. Always take a few steps, turn, and listen to how your feet feel. Everyday shoes live in motion, not in the mirror. There's also a subtler trap: choosing shoes without considering your actual lifestyle. If you walk a lot, but buy a pair meant for occasional outings, comfort won't last. Shoes should match your real day, not an idealized image in your head. The more honest you are during the selection process, the fewer disappointments you'll have later. And of course, a classic mistake: saving money in the wrong place. A cheap pair may look fine at first, but it quickly loses its shape and comfort. In the end, you either buy another pair again or put up with discomfort. Investing in quality doesn't mean buying the most expensive option. It means choosing thoughtfully and for the long run. All these mistakes have one thing in common: rushing and hoping for the best. The good news is that avoiding them isn't hard at all. You just need to be a bit more attentive and clear about what you expect from everyday shoes. Now comes the final step: putting together your ideal pair that truly works for you, not against you. Start with an honest question. What does your typical day look like if you walk a lot, stay on the move, and rarely sit still? Your shoes need to be stable and supportive. If your pace is calmer, lighter, and simpler models may be enough. The more closely your shoes match your lifestyle, the less you'll think about them during the day. Next, take a look at your wardrobe. The ideal everyday shoes don't require outfit adjustments, they naturally go with what you wear most often. When a pair fits your style effortlessly, you'll keep reaching for it again and again. And that's the best sign you made the right choice. It's crucial to trust your own ощущения, not advertising. Trying shoes on isn't a formality, it's the key step. Walk around, take a few steps, listen to your feet. If you want to take them off as soon as possible, they're not for you. A good pair doesn't demand attention, it simply does its job. Don't forget about the long-term perspective. Everyday shoes should handle regular wear and feel good beyond the first couple of weeks. Quality materials, careful construction, and thoughtful design are usually noticeable right away. These are the kinds of shoes that don't shout, but serve you well and honestly for a long time. And most importantly today, you no longer have to choose between style and comfort. They've learned to coexist. When you find that balance, everything falls into place, how you look, how you feel, and the confidence in every step. In the end, the perfect everyday pair isn't the one you think about all day long, but the one you remember only in the evening with relief when you realize your feet aren't tired. That's how you know you chose right.